Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien, and some of the stories coming up in today's news. Winding up Project Butterfly Pathway, Waimea road users should expect traffic delays, we check out some interesting sports and more. Nelson's 2014 Supreme winner of the Trustpower Awards, Nelson's Project Butterfly, is about to lay its final section of the Butterfly Path in Nelson's historic Fairfield Park and needs help to do so. The memorial pathway has been nearly 3 years in the making, using the labour of volunteering families who have experienced the loss of a child. Now the caterpillar section of the pathway, which is dedicated for the parents who have been through the loss of a baby, is almost complete. Chrissy Small spoke to Project Butterfly founder Rebecca Malthus about the final steps required to complete the pathway.
I'm talking with Nelson's Project Butterfly founder Rebecca, and Rebecca Malthus, you are currently getting ready for the last stages of the Project Butterfly Pathway in Fairfield Park.
Yes, that's true. The last stages. It feels good, but it feels sad too.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's finished.
Yeah, it's been a coming together of people in the same position, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, which is it's quite important, I think, as there's nothing really out there that brings people together like this that are suffering, well, that are going through grief.
Right.
So in this latest stage, which is the stillbirth part, we started it out as, you know, exclusively for stillbirth, but then so many people approached us that had lost a child within, you know, 1 or 2 days of being born, or a late miscarriage, and they had nowhere to go or nowhere to bury their child. We even had some women that, you know, had lost a child in their 30s and 40s, so there's some 80 and 90-year-old women that wanted to be involved too.
So it's right across the board, isn't it, this loss?
Yeah, it is, and it's really weird. Grief is such a natural part of life, yet human beings don't really deal with it that well. We have no support systems in place or you know, groups to, well, not in Nelson anyway. No. We don't really have anything that people can come and share their grief and heal together.
Right, and so this is obviously your motivation for bringing Project Butterfly into fruition.
Well, actually, I really didn't have any motivation. Project Butterfly grew around me when I lost my own son, and I had quite a few artistic friends who just didn't know what to do to help. And one of them offered to make a statue or a sculpture in his memory. And at the time, we were like, well, we're going to move anyway, so where would we put one? So we contacted the council, and the council were like, well, we don't really have any place for something like that, but we do have a pathway that needs, you know, that you could work with, and that's how it grew.
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity to put into fruition your memorial, if you like.
Yeah, it is. You know, we've been so lucky that the council's been so accommodating. I mean, there have been rules and boundaries and things like that, which are frustrating. But yeah, but the council's been really, really supportive. So that's great. From teaching us how to fundraise, you know, or teaching us how to get grants, or teaching us about the public liability and safety, OSH, everything like that. You know, I was just a mum. I didn't know any of that sort of stuff. And had I known how hard it was going to be, I probably wouldn't have started. But
it's quite scary, isn't it, when you take all those things into consideration?
Yeah, and just the sheer volume of work. You know, like I've had people emailing me since we did the press release about the stillbirth and early loss section, trying to coordinate that as a volunteer around your own family and work life. etc., is, you know, it's quite challenging. I think Project Butterfly's kind of grown to that stage where we need to make it more formal and have somebody that actually, you know, can administer it, because there is a definite need out there, and we have people from all over New Zealand emailing us, asking us what we have, what their districts have that are like us.
So you're looking for a national coordinator?
I don't know. I'm looking for somebody that can tap me on the shoulder and say, I can do it, I can help. I mean, at the moment, since that article went in the paper about the stillbirth and early childhood loss section of the past, we've had someone from Rotorua wanting to start one, someone from Invercargill, one from Hervey Bay in Australia, and another one from Australia. I can't remember. So that's 4, just from one article.
Well, you know, it
yeah,
tells
there's
you
a definite need out there.
Yeah, exactly.
People want to, I think things are changing, and people want to grieve and heal properly and learn how to enjoy their grief. You know, grief is actually a wonderful thing if you know how to work with it.
How to manage it.
Yeah, how to manage it.
Look, Rebecca, so you're going to be needing some more parent help, aren't you, coming up?
Probably, yes. It's very organic. That's what we like. We don't like it to be formal, because grief is a funny thing. You might feel like you want to volunteer and say yes, 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 and then when it comes down to the day, actually it's terrifying, you know, and we don't want to push people into things they don't want to do. So what we've said is on Friday the 5th we have a chance, an opportunity. You can come and help. We're getting the Caterpillar ready to install, and the Caterpillar is probably about 1 tonne of concrete and mosaics, and we're doing that on Friday from 4 p.m. You can come down and help arrange it and sort it out if you like, and be involved. And then on the Saturday, is that the 6th? Yeah, we'll actually...
the 5th, Saturday the 5th.
Right, sorry, so Friday the 4th and Saturday the 6th, we'll be setting it in. And then, not the following weekend, but the weekend after, I think it's the 18th and 19th.
That's correct.
Yeah, we'll be installing all the memorials to stillbirth and early childhood loss. And parents can come down and help with that too, if they want.
Yes. But it's not just parents though, it's also grandparents as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had families, whole families, aunties, uncles, people that have been affected by loss. Sometimes it's too raw for the parent and the parent doesn't want to be involved, but an auntie or an uncle who is slightly removed but still affected wants to do something, so we've had a few of those as well.
Well, Rebecca, it sounds like a lovely way for people to help manage their grief and those of their loved ones, and I just wish you the best. How can people be able to contact you then if they wish to be involved?
The best way is by email, because we are all volunteers, so quite often we're working into the wee hours of the night. The best way is email, and it's hello@projectbutterfly.co.nz.
Right, hello@projectbutterfly.co.nz. Look,
Yeah.
Rebecca, you sound like you're full of the flu. So
I am. It's great timing, really, isn't it?
it is, but you know, so much going on. Sometimes this happens. So, my advice: have a rest. Rest up.
Yeah.
Try not to stress, and hopefully those volunteers will flood in to take a bit of that strain off your shoulders.
Yeah, great.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been made loud and clear to leave it alone after public feedback on the future of Moturoa, better known as Rabbit Island, came flooding in, giving Council a clear message through public submissions on the area's future, with the majority saying they love it just the way it is. Tasman District Council put out the call in November for feedback, which closed at the end of February. Tasman District Council received a total of 560 surveys and 82 comments on its call for feedback on the future of Rabbit, Rough and Bird Islands by the deadline. Policy advisor Anna Gertie met with a wide range of groups and users of the islands over the summer months. She said that the overwhelming theme that came through was that people loved the naturalness, open spaces, variety of recreational opportunities and lack of commercial activity on the islands. The feedback ranged on where and how different activities could be successfully managed on the islands to specific suggestions for where maintenance, repairs or new facilities were needed. Some of these suggestions will be fed through to the staff who carry out their maintenance on the islands to incorporate into their upcoming work schedule. The feedback that relates to the ongoing management of the islands will now be considered as Council begins drafting a new management plan to guide the future of the area, which will be made available to people to look at by the end of April. Sport Tasman's Give It A Go campaign this week in Nelson, designed to get people active with an old favourite game of croquet and a new game called pickleball, which is a fast-growing sport in the US and Canada with an estimated 2.5 million people participating in those countries. I spoke with Manly Bowater, who is head coach of Hinimoa Croquet Club. Manly, you're the head coach down here, and we've got the Give It A Go people down here giving it a go. Can you tell us a bit more about this type of croquet?
Oh, golf croquet is a single ball shots, none of the association croquet 2-ball shots. It's a much easier game to play, and one can learn to play it in about 20 minutes and you can go out and play a game. You're not sitting around waiting and trying to learn some sort of highly complicated way of playing. It's very quick.
And it looks fairly easy, but I had a go and it's not as easy as it looks.
No, the problem is that the hoops are only a 1/16 of an inch. The gap is only a 1/16 of an inch bigger than the ball. And that's what makes getting position in front of the hoop so important. And it makes it interesting. The really good players will run hoops from, 10, 15, 20 feet. Wow. They get pretty good. I'm afraid I'm not quite like that. But they do get to be quite good, the really top players.
And you get quite a bit of walking around. You think it's good for your fitness? You're moving around and bending?
Well, yes. If you play association croquet, which is a little bit different from what they're doing, that gets all the 2-ball shots, you might play 3 2.5-hour games in a day, and wow. And that means you're on the go for 7.5 hours. And you're walking and swinging your mallet and bending down to place the balls, and you get, in that period of time, you'll get quite a bit of exercise.
Yeah.
But the real advantage with the golf croquet is that there's no sitting around waiting for opposition to play. You play, the next person plays, bang, bang, bang. And it's very sociable. There's usually lots of laughing. And as I say, if on a club day we play three games in an afternoon, and that's probably about 3.5 hours walking around, and that's good exercise with bending and swinging and hitting
and lots of laughing.
And lots of laughing. Yeah.
And the Give It A Go is giving the sport a bit of a boost.
Oh yes, it's our that, and together with word of mouth is our only real way of finding people. Some people just happen to be walking past the greens and they see people playing and they think, oh, I'd like to have a go at that. Yeah. My attitude when I see things happening is, oh, if they can do that, I can do it. Sure. And that's very important with the whole of your life, to say, well, if that person can do it, I'm sure I can do it. And that's pretty way that it should be.
And if people wanted to give it a go, can they just pop down at any time when they see people here?
Yeah, they can pop in, and if they see people here and somebody will tell them what to do to be able to get started. They mightn't just quite be able to start playing straight off. It depends what's happening, and I mean, if it's some matches being played, yet they can't just drop what they're doing.
Sure.
But otherwise, somebody will on social days. Social day for golf croquet is Sunday afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock, and you want to be here for 12:30 and get your name in for the draw. And Tuesdays afternoons, and there's social play on a Thursday afternoon, but that's not organised. Everybody just comes and picks up a mallet and gets the balls out and the hoops and just has fun.
That sounds like the best day to come along then.
Yeah, it could well be. But we have these give it a go days, and they bring us sort of 10, 20 people at a time, and out of those we might not get anybody that wants to continue playing, but we sow a seed, and that over a period of time people come back.
Annie, you've got a new kind of game here. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually a badminton player myself, but I was asked to take this sport and I didn't know much about it. I had to Google it like most people, and I realised that it reminds me a little bit of paddle tennis, and that you use the wooden rackets and that the net is lower than a badminton net. But the ball's totally different. The ball is like a hard plastic holey thing, which you wouldn't think bounce, but it does bounce. And it caters for all levels of play, you know, children to old people. And my understanding is that it's very, very popular in America and Canada. And I think it goes way back though to about 1965 over there, but just new to us, and I'm hopeful that it will take off here because I think it's really cool.
And you've had a few previous games and days of doing the sport. Has it been very popular?
Well, we've only just kicked off this is only the third week, but I'm thinking and hoping that when people get to know a little bit more about it, we could even like play this outside on the netball courts as possible, but we'll see how it goes here first because, you know, like everyone's just discovering it. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
It does sort of seem like something that could take off amongst that group that do table tennis or badminton.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, some people who find the sport like badminton too fast, then this is the sport you want to do. I think it's absolutely caters for elderly people too who don't want to do too much running because you can basically move as little or as much as you want. Yeah.
That sounds like a good sport.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really good and I'm quite keen to see where this goes.
And when's the next time that people might be able to come down and try this?
So we're actually making it here every Thursday at 10:30 kick-off for about an hour. And I reckon you should just like come and give it a go and just see.
In figures released this week, Nelson home values continue to increase, up 3.7% over the past 3 months and 7.7% year on year. The average value in the city is now $439,741. While home values in the Tasman district were also up slightly by 0.2% over the past 3 months and 3% year on year. According to Quotable Value Nelson registered valuer Craig Russell, the Nelson market continues to see significant value growth, and the market sentiment seems to be that values will continue to rise over the short term given interest rates are low, along with a lack of listings. Tourism has surpassed dairy as New Zealand's largest earner, so we decided to ask one of our young visitors to the region, Alex Dayton, from the UK, what her thoughts were on New Zealand as a destination and if she considered our region an expensive place to visit.
We have Alex Dayton, who is a visitor to the region. We thought we'd just ask Alex how, as a visitor, you found the region for being a young traveller.
It's actually been really good. All the locals have been so nice, which has been good. Yeah, it's been a nice place just to stop for a while. I've probably been here for about 3.5 months now. So yeah, it's been really nice. And anything you need to know, you've obviously got the eyesight, and they have always been really helpful. And it's just been a nice place to be. Yeah, for sure. Especially over the summer, it's been really nice and hot.
Yeah. Well, we've just been told that the records are that it's the hottest to date. So, yeah, you certainly picked the month.
Yeah.
Now, Alex, when you came to New Zealand, what were your expectations?
Well, I had been here before, but just briefly. I really didn't know what to expect, really, because every place you go, you know, everyone's so different, and I'd always heard that like the people here were really nice, and obviously there's really nice things to see, and so Nelson's been a really great place just to have all of that, because there's so many great things to see outside of Nelson, and yeah, and the people, and so it's been a nice place to be, to have everything combined and all in one place, and yeah, it's been really good, really good.
Okay, so we know that this region is probably one of the best for its national parks. Have you been through to any of our national parks yet?
I've been to Abel Tasman, which was so nice. Love it there. Yeah, that was probably the best national park that I've been to so far. I haven't been up to Nelson Lakes yet, which I'd really like to do. And then I'm going into Karangi National Park soon, so we'll see what that's going to be like. But yeah, definitely Abel Tasman's been one of the highlights from my whole trip, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And how have you found New Zealand to as far as expenses go? Do you think it's expensive, or would you say it's quite reasonably priced?
I would say in some things it's a lot more expensive than I thought it was going to be. Especially in food. Food was a bit of a shock as how expensive it was going to be, especially things that I knew were grown in New Zealand. Yeah, I found that I could get it cheaper at home, which was a bit surprising. But yeah, then in some things it's cheaper, and but yeah, it's not the cheapest place I've ever been, you know, traveling, but it's not been too bad. But yeah, definitely food was a surprise.
Now, one of the big concerns for locals in this region is freedom camping. Would you agree with that, with the concerns about how messy it is and how freedom campers don't look after the environment so well?
I can see that it'd be one of those, the minority, you know, like there's always a minority of people that might ruin something for everyone else, because I know a lot of people, I haven't personally done any camping myself, freedom camping, but I know a lot of people that have, and they'd be really respectful of the area, and you know, a lot of people are like that. A lot of travellers that I've met, they're so respectful of the areas that they go to, and to each other, like everyone's really trusting with each other, but there's always that minority, you know, that ruin it, like that might leave mess somewhere, or steal something from someone, so then you have this idea that everyone's going to be like that, and you know, but they're really not. I think a lot of people are really respectful. It's just the minority. Yeah.
Do you think our roads are well set out for travellers? Do you think it's easy for someone to understand our road rules?
Okay, the road. Yeah, well, coming from England, a lot of it's the same. So I haven't really struggled too much with it. There's obviously a couple of things that are different, but you know, just from asking someone, or you just, you know, you can figure it out pretty easily. I think for a lot of people, it's really different from where they come from. So I know a lot of people have struggled with it, or some people just say, like, I'm not going to drive here. But for me, it's been really easy, and you know, all the rules have been really easy to figure out and pretty much the same. But yeah, I think people, and I know people when they hire cars, they get given, because I hired a car, and you get given like the road rules and stuff if you're from a country where it's not the same. So I think whether people read that properly or not, I don't know, but if you have a good read of the things that they give you when you hire a car and things, I think you'll be good on the roads. It just depends if you are going to read it properly and have a good research.
Yeah. What's your advice to locals here about how we should respond to foreign drivers as a foreigner?
Well, I know that, you know, some people might get frustrated with people that are going a bit slower or do something wrong, or, you know, but then it's the same everywhere. Like in England, you can tell if someone's come from somewhere else and they're not doing something right, and you get a bit angry or whatever. But I think, you know, be patient with people, but also, you know, people need to get it right. You know, it needs to be safe for everyone to be on the road. So
Yeah. So tolerance.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Alex, it's been a real pleasure, and we really hope you've loved your time here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
It's drawing to an end, and well, maybe we'll see you back here in another few years.
Yeah, sure.
Does Nelson City have a traffic problem in its narrow streets during these busy summer months? Some locals believe it's a real problem, which is exasperated by the arrival of travelling motorhomes parking in car parks. So after receiving some complaints from the public, we went to the streets to ask people their thoughts on the issue.
There's barely any space for cars in the city centre as it is, so with them it's not good.
On the main street it can be a bit of a pain, especially because I bike everywhere, so as you're driving down the street, you know, it's hard to either see around them or you've got to come out into the car's road, and so it'd be good if there was like a designated area for them all to kind of have a spot where they can all park and then everyone's happy.
Well, I think there's a better place for them really. It's this is the central business shopping district, and park on the outskirts and walk is my having been an owner of a large motorhome.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan, and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 5464084.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.